Rules are simple. We got Andrew, we got Dave, each taking turns drafting their greatest Team USA roster from a list of every eligible USA player. Who will have the better roster at the end of things? Only time will tell. This is the ultimate Team USA draft.
Andrew, with the first pick of the Team
This
USA
is already
draft.
unfair. Andrew's getting a number one pick. This is already not fair.
This is the dream team. This is Team Avengers. There's nothing unfair about it.
Are we gonna say Redream team?
I'm taking Steph Curry. I want Steph Curry on this team. It's time for Steph Curry to win a gold medal. It's the last remaining piece. There's a piece on his mantle that's missing right now, and it's a gold medal. So let's get Steph a gold medal. Obviously, his shooting and scoring is going to help out a ton. He's also not a bad defender either.
He's a good defender.
Yeah. So we can't send bad perimeter defenders to Paris. So I don't think Steph is part of that, and I want Steph to have a gold medal.
For the purposes of this exercise, we've successfully recruited Joel Embiid, and that's going to be my first pick. So, we got to shore up the middle. Luckily, in international basketball, there is no defensive 3 seconds. So we're going to camp out in the lane. We're going to get every rebound. Joel Embiid is going to be my first pick. I'm going to just jump right in there, not even wait for Sam.
How do we feel about the Embiid thing? Is that what are the chances of that actually happening?
Feels like 50-50 at this point. If you look at the various reports, I think that Team USA with Joel Embiid, that's a gold medal lock. If Joel Embiid decides to go play for the French team, I don't know if it's a gold medal lock. I mean, they didn't even make top 16 in the World Cup. So they've got, bigger problems than Team USA. It seems like if Embiid wants to get that piece of his legacy, that Team USA would be the right choice.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Andrew, who are you taking with your second pick?
All right, with my second pick and the third pick in this draft, I'm going to take Kevin Durant. I just think he's somebody that can defend multiple positions, obviously just a killer, and was like the reason that they won the gold medal last time. So it's got to be Durant.
And by the time this is over, by the way, he's going to just draft the entire 2017, 2018 Golden State Warriors. I see your plan here. Andrew,
we need rebounding. I'm thinking, is David Lee available?
Dave, who are you taking second?
Well, I've got a little bit of a curveball, but Andrew set me up perfectly here. We need a gamer. We need some tough defense, especially on the perimeter. And we need a guy who just shows up in big moments. And that's why I'm taking Jimmy Butler to pair up with one of his favorite teammates ever, Joel Embiid, and win us gold in Paris. That's what we need. Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid are my first two picks.
So through 4 picks, we still have no LeBron. 5th pick, Andrew, who are you taking?
We got options here. I'm going to take Jason Tatum. I think that Tatum is, I think we forget how young he is, and that he's still in like his pre-prime age. And as we head into the Olympics, he's going to be entering in his true prime. And I think that he has a chance to be the best player on this team. And I know that we've got a lot of really good players here already, but we like to kind of rush these guys into success in the NBA, where it's like, man, why haven't you done it already, Jason Tatum? Well, Jason Tatum isn't quite there yet. And as the Olympics roll around, it's going to start to be his time. So I'm taking Jason Tatum.
Wow. Okay. Dave, who are you going to match that with?
Well, I'm staying on theme here, and I care a lot about defense, especially interior defense. And that's why Anthony Davis is going to join the front court of Team USA and play next to Joel Embiid. This team is going to defend. It is going to dominate in the paint. Defensively is going to get every defensive rebound. All this Lithuania offensive rebound flying in from, the guards coming in, getting in tip-ins, not happening with my front court.
That is a huge front court.
We're not playing any games. We're here for the gold.
All right. Okay. All right. Andrew, who are you taking? Who's next on the list?
I need somebody that can get downhill. I think that we don't really have that within this roster yet. We've got some shooting. I guess Jimmy does that some. And there's a player that does this that he's the one who got this all started. I'm going to take LeBron James. I think LeBron can still get downhill. I think he's obviously big and strong, good rebounder, good passer. He's LeBron. So I'm taking Bron.
So LeBron was the 7th player taken off this board, if my numbers are correct.
That's maybe still too high. Maybe still too high.
Is that too high? I feel like that's a little low.
Honestly, I was trying to resist it just for the bit, but I think he's got to be on this team.
Because that's saying he's not a top 5 player anymore. So I don't know.
Oh, I think that's simply true.
Pretty much true. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in short stretches he can be though.
Yeah, but the top 5 guys aren't that in short stretches. They are that all the time.
Hey, you only need a couple. You need like a month or 2 out of them. That's all you need.
Hey,
so
he's still very good. That's why he got picked 7th. Still pretty good.
I guess. Dave, who are you taking 8th?
Look, I care about two-way play, and I want one of the best two-way guards in the league, a guy who may break into tier 1 in Seth Partnow's tiers over at The Athletic next season. Devin Booker guards his position and can score with anybody, and I think his energy, especially in international play, I mean, he's a perfect guard to play with the guys that I've already drafted, to be honest with you. I mean, Devin Booker can guard any 1 or 2 that you face at any point in the Olympics or even in the NBA playoffs. He can. So I think bringing that sort of energy, and again, just he's a dog. And how many guys can you say that about who can score the way he can? He's a dog on defense. So Devin Booker is going to be the 4th member of my proposed starting lineup. I'm assuming I'm drafting in order. I don't know. May have a wild card here or there.
So Dave finally takes a guard. Andrew, how are you going to follow that up with?
I'm going to take another guard that can guard multiple positions. I'm taking Drew Holiday. I still think he may not be one of the best players in the world right now if you stack them all up. But if you want to win, we saw, I know a lot of people are going to point to rebounding in the World Cup, and that was a problem. But to me, the problem was the scheme was switch everything, and they didn't have a switch everything roster. You put Drew Holiday on this roster, he's a switch everything guard that can probably guard some 4s at this level. So I'm taking Drew.
Well, look, you can have a switch everything roster, but if the only way you're going to defend is switch everything, you're going to be in a lot of trouble in international basketball. It's just,
not with this roster. This roster could do it.
You got a good roster. I mean, listen, I'll say this up front. If we just combined our 2 rosters, that's a gold medal roster right there.
I thought that's what we're doing.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so you've taken Drew Holiday over the likes of Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, bunch of other guards.
Yes. 100%.
Okay.
I stand by that.
Okay. Dave, who's rounding out your starting lineup?
Well, listen, we got to give this guy credit because he was the best American in this run in this World Cup. And I think Anthony Edwards, after another year in the NBA, is going to be even better, more ready to erase the embarrassment of coming in 4th in the World Cup. So Anthony Edwards would be my 5th pick for next year in the Olympics. I mean, I think that all the Michael Jordan buzz around him leading up in FIBA, sort of friendly play coming into the World Cup, maybe it was a bit too early. Next year in the summer, that's where he capitalizes and actually comes through on the promises.
That's another guard that Andrew took Drew Holiday over. And nothing wrong with Drew Holiday. He's a fellow Bruin. Love the man. But another guy Andrew passed up on. What are our final starting lineups before we head into the reserves?
So are you asking me to name my starting lineup?
Yes, exactly. Who are your first 5 picks?
Okay. I had Steph, KD, Jason Tatum, LeBron, Drew Holiday.
Okay. Dave?
And I had Embiid. I had Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, and I just took Anthony Edwards.
Okay. Those are the 2 starting lineups. And now we head into the reserves. Should we give Dave the first pick in reserves?
Sure.
All right. Well, once again, I care about defense, and that's why Going to bring in some of that corporate knowledge. Draymond Green going to come and play. And, maybe he'll start in place of Anthony Davis, and Anthony Davis is the backup 5 sometimes. You get to play around with lineup combinations. Maybe you want to go all in on defense, and Draymond Green starts sort of at the 3. I don't know what you do, but I think having Draymond Green, especially in the huddles, in practices, knows how to win championships, knows how to win at a high level, will keep these guys defending and for 40 minutes of concentration. So taking Draymond Green.
So you're preventing Andrew from finishing out the 2017
That's it. I'm
Warriors
really
lineup.
it's a block to stop Andrew.
Okay, Andrew, how are you going to respond to that with?
I'm going to take the actual best player from the USA in this World Cup run, Mikal Bridges, who I think can obviously hit threes. He can score a little bit on his own. Versatile defender. I'd like for him to be more physical than he is, but I do think that he can bring a lot to this roster as like a very, very high-end role player.
Cool. Dave, who is your second reserve that you will be taking?
All right, now I'm going a little off the rails. I'm going to take Darius Garland because I need a Steph Curry clone to come off the bench. I need a stir-the-drink point guard who can pass, who can shoot, especially from deep, who can operate off screens. You can play him with any of the guards that are in the starting lineup. He can be the one. So I'm going to go with Darius Garland. I think you need some youthful exuberance and energy coming off the bench for this team.
Well, this turned out to be a wild roster.
This turned out to be a wild roster.
It's an interesting roster. That's all I got to say. Andrew, how are you going to follow that?
So listen, rebounding is another thing that people have been harping on with the United States of America. And to everybody's credit, do you know how many players in the top 10 in rebounds per game are American? Can anybody tell me?
2.
It's 1.
Wow.
It's 1. And I'm not going to pick the guy who it is. Do you guys have any guesses as to who it is?
I mean, is it Embiid or is he not?
I mean, Embiid is on the roster, but he doesn't really count.
I got you. Okay. Who is it?
It's Julius Randle.
Wow.
Is the only one. Sabonis, Jokic, Giannis, Gobert, Capella, Vooch, Valanciunas, Embiid, Randle, and DeAndre Ayton are the top 10 in rebounds per game. With that said, I'm going to pick a guy who's also on the top 20 list. He's ranked 17th. I'm going to take Bam Adebayo, who can play in multiple defensive schemes, score a little bit, pass a little bit. Really nice player. And I think that he would have actually helped this Team USA quite a bit.
So you're not taking Jaren Jackson Jr. after his performances turned.
You know what? I feel bad for him because I think he could play well next to a guy like Bam. I think that he was just not put in a position to succeed. I think any person in the world who is not put in a position to succeed and is put on TV and on camera, that's just not cool. It wasn't cool. I don't appreciate what Steve Kerr did to him, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault.
You just need to draft dogs like Dave. When you got dogs, it doesn't matter.
Need a bunch of dogs, man.
I drafted Bam.
Listen, my next pick, I got another dog. Going Desmond Bane. We need more shooting. We need more defense. Taking Desmond Bane, and we're going to Paris. I'm telling you, we're bringing home the gold with this roster. Bunch of guys who know their job coming off the bench. And Desmond Bane has basically been that since he came to the NBA. I was a proponent of the Warriors drafting him second overall instead of taking James Wiseman. I figured if you're going to waste the pick anyway, might as well take a guy who knows how to play basketball. So here I am making up for that by drafting Desmond Bane very high because I'm a believer in Bane. He would be perfect for Olympic play.
Yeah,
Andrew.
That's definitely a thing to do. I'm going to take De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
Who I think is another player that we saw how Dennis Schroeder disrupted so many teams in FIBA play. And God bless him, he is Dennis Schroeder. Okay. De'Aaron Fox can do what Dennis Schroeder did at like a higher level. So give me a De'Aaron Fox.
All right.
I think some Kings fans might take offense to the Fox Schroeder comparison.
I'm just saying fast guards.
Yeah.
Super fast guard. Obviously way better than Schroeder. Way better.
Dave, who you got?
Well, I'm still thinking about defense. I'm also thinking Nikola Jokic may play for Serbia. You want to get into his head. You want to know what he's thinking in case you're going to run into him in a gold medal game. Why not get his best buddy out there who can defend, who can rebound, who can run in transition? Aaron Gordon was built for international basketball. We just saw how great he was for the Nuggets all last season. Add Aaron Gordon to my squad, and all of a sudden, I mean, we looking pretty good, Sam.
All I have to say is if there was an international slam dunk contest, he would not win it, unfortunately. Andrew, who you got?
Oh boy. I think I'm going to take another guard. I think I'm going to take Damian Lillard. I think if you have lineups with Steph and Dame out there, they're just going to be bombing threes, and you're not going to be able to keep up. So I'll take Dame. Also, good leader, and he'll pair well with his future teammate Bam Adebayo.
Would you ever play Dame and Steph at the same time, though?
It depends, but I think there's absolutely situations where you want to play bomber lineups, or you just want to throw a bunch of guys out there that can just bomb threes, and you just spread the court out. And even like if you ran a 3-guard lineup and you just had Fox out there who could just get downhill like crazy, and they can't leave Steph or Dame. Now that defensively you're going to have some problems, but what else is new for Team USA?
Dave, what you got?
Well, I think one of the guys who really stood out in this run and who deserves another chance, Tyrese Halliburton. Bring him off the bench, pair him with Bane. He can play with Darius Garland. He can play with anybody in the starting lineup. You can close games with him. You can start games with him. Steady hand as a point guard, gets everybody involved. Perfect. I mean, we just saw, again, this entire run, I think that he had some of the best point guard moments for Team USA. Deserves another shot. I think he's a guy who defends his position well. You add him into any team, and you're going to be in a better position than you were without him.
I feel like there's a big theme here of Dave just taking guys who know their role, and they just stick to it. There's not a bunch of egos on this team.
Not to foreshadow for the rest of my picks, but you kind of have me got me nailed there.
All right, Andrew. What have we got next?
I'm going to take Jaren Jackson Jr. I think that he is being unfairly maligned, and we touched on this earlier, but I just think that having a shot blocker that can also shoot it is really helpful. And if he can play next to a guy like Bam in lineups, which is why the Grizzlies have always played him with bigs. People always wonder, like, why don't you just put him at center? There's some problems there. If he's your lone big, he's going to foul out, or he's not going to be able to rebound at a high enough level. But if you pair him with a guy like Bam, I think you're in a really good situation. And then defensively, you can do quite a bit with those two.
Cool. Dave, go for it.
How many picks do we have left? I'm trying to figure out here. My roster balance is kind of off, and I think it's going to stay off because I do have a theme, but we have 2 picks each. Man, unfortunately, Danny Green's not going to make the cut, but Cade Cunningham, given his work with the select team, again, we're thinking about the future. Winning an Olympic gold would set him up for a lot of future success. I think he's the future face, most likely, of Team USA. He's one of the best young point guards, American point guards that we've got. So I think I would bring in Cade Cunningham. And again, it's more of a, you play 5 minutes here and there, but you're learning the ropes in international basketball with the hopes that, maybe in 2028, he's the lead dog.
In 2028, who do you think, I guess this is a question for both of you guys. Who do you think will be the best U.S. player in 2028?
Oh my gosh.
In 28. Not many of the guys that are on this current list.
Yeah, that's true.
Will be some of the best guys.
Man.
Chet Holmgren, obviously.
Yeah. Might be Cade. You never know.
It could be Cade. It could very well be Cade. Yeah.
All right, Andrew, who you got?
Last pick for me. This might be dumb, but I don't think it is. I'm going to take Marcus Smart. I think that he is somebody that just knows how to win basketball games. And I think that he is going to help out the Grizzlies a lot. I think we saw with what the Canadian national team did. They just had these 2 insane defenders in their starting lineup. They switched their starting lineup for their final game. And they were just like, hey, we're just going to put Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort out there. And I think Smart's better than both those guys on both ends. So I'm taking Marcus Smart.
Cool.
My last pick is similar reasons. Guy is a winner. You need rebounding? He can do that. You need him to play defense, switch onto James Harden in the playoffs? He can do that. Kevon Looney, the guy is just a winner. Steve Kerr's security blanket that he doesn't realize he needs. If you play Kevon Looney, you win basketball games. And I think having that ace in your sleeve, if you're Team USA, vitally important. And again, I mean, the guy's a champion. Now, he can win an Olympic gold medal. So Kevon Looney would be my last pick. And I realize I've got a lot of bigs on this team, but that's what it takes to win Olympic gold, especially because you don't even know what the France team is going to look like. They may have a lot of bigs.
I said
UCLA
Marcus
dog.
Another UCLA dog. I thought the last pick I had was my last pick. It wasn't. Okay. For my actual last pick, I'm going to take a guy who made a lot of money this summer, who has also been unfairly maligned because people like to, whenever people understand the deficiencies of players, they like to talk about them a lot. Now I understand their deficiencies, so I'm just going to say it a lot. Jaylen Brown, who is a very, very good NBA player, good two-way player, big wing that can play both ends. Jaylen Brown. This is probably unfair to him to be picked this low, to be honest. And
you know what? I think so. I think you're right. It is. We both kind of overlooked Jaylen Brown. It's the Jason Tatum shadow effect to a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a great last pick. I thought I was done with Kevon Looney. Now I've got to come up with one more guy. You know what? Let's lean offense. Donovan Mitchell.
Wait, Dave, you're done.
Dave, you are done.
I'm done.
You're done.
You
done.
are
That's
done.
right, because I went first in the
Yes.
in the backups. You're right. Forgot about the draft.
Sorry,
switch.
Donovan Mitchell, you don't make the cut.
Don't make the cut, but first one left out like it's college football.
Hey, that being said, who's the biggest snub? Who's the biggest snub?
Mitchell
we got two
is a big
USA
snub.
lineups.
I mean, there's a bunch. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they don't make the cut.
Kawhi Leonard.
Those two, but here's the thing. Would they really play in the Olympics? Either one of them?
I mean, we're assuming they would in this scenario, I guess.
To me, it feels a little fictitious because they have contracts coming up, and I'm just not so sure that they would actually play in the Olympics. That's why I didn't select them.
Is that more fictitious than Kevon Looney making the USA roster? I don't know.
That's not my team.
Listen,
I guess the
when
question
Kevon Looney's on the team next year, don't be surprised.
All right.
They needed a player like Kevon on the team in this World Cup run for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just sad no one took Paolo. I think Paolo should get a spot on this team. But
Wow,
those are my
Homer,
thoughts.
Magic Homer over here.
Well, that being said, we got two wonderful Team USA lineups. One might be better than the other, depends on how you view it. But let us know what you think. And who wins in this Team USA versus Team USA lineup?